Hi, I'm David.
Hi, I'm Jelena.
Welcome to our tutorial on Shalabhasana. Shalabhasana means
Locust.
locust.
Locust. I don't even know what that is. I just memorized the name.
Yeah, it's one of those like long insects, kind
Yeah.
of. They're biblical. They can go in swarms and eat fields.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's a bug
it's a bug,
pose.
and I guess it's like a grasshopper.
It's nice
It
and long.
it's got it's long and it's got a curve to it.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. And I've said. Um,
And it's a pose in Ashtanga's Intermediate Series.
yeah, kind of an easy pose, but there's a lot to learn from it. So before we go any further, please make sure to subscribe if you haven't, and like the video. Let us know, and if you have anything to say, comment.
Mhm. And we always appreciate if you tell us what else you want to see. We like suggestions.
Yeah, if there's anything kind of parallel, to the postures themselves, that would be good to know. Because we're working our way through intermediate series now. We've got pretty much primary all covered, but there's lots of little bits, that we could talk about.
Mhm.
So guide us. Okay, locust pose.
All right.
All right, we'll do a little demo first, and then we can talk about the work. So from downward dog, as always, we're going to go. This is interesting. Chitwari on the inhale into Chaturanga Dandasana. Exhale here, and there's no vinyasa count, so there's no movement. Pancha, inhale into the state of the asana. So the arms come back, palms face up, feet together, and it's Nasagrajishti, gaze towards the tip of the nose. 5 breaths here. And then finish your 5th exhale. Shut, you go to B, you put your hands down and pull your chest forward, gaze on the nose here. 5 breaths. And then Sapta, inhale right into upward facing dog. Ashta, exhale, go back into downward facing dog. That's it. Like that one?
I really like this pose, and it's not because it's easy. I like the way I can feel my body warm up and get engaged.
Yeah.
Like,
That's probably the function
yeah,
of the posture, where it is in the series as well. Because it's the 3rd pose in,
yes, yeah,
and it's the beginning of a whole back bending sequence.
right. It's the first one
Yeah. Which
of the back bending.
starts to build in intensity.
Mhm.
Each one is sort of more difficult than the last one.
Yeah. And so the way David and I teach it, we'll go over it now, but the emphasis isn't necessarily on lifting your legs as high as possible, but it's about this very particular isolation of the muscles in your body, and particularly your back muscles and your quads and the hamstring, to kind of get the body warmed up and ready for deeper and deeper back bends that are coming.
Yeah. We use these postures that are, more accessible, easier, less complicated, to rehearse the work of more difficult postures coming up later on, right? You do it while it's easy, get good at it there, so that you'll have a chance when it gets hard. And so we're doing this particular work here of getting the extension of the hips through the activation of the legs. We're using the legs as hip extensors instead of the glutes. And this, you've probably heard it say this before if you've watched any of our tutorials that have back bends, but this is a really good technique to learn to keep your back safe as you go deeper into the back bends.
And so this is an easy place
Yeah.
to focus on that.
And it's kind of low stakes too,
Mhm.
because if if you're doing it and you're squeezing your bum, nothing bad is going to happen to you in this pose. It's not that deep of a back bend, but it's a good place for you to start trying to practice it. The only thing that is challenging about it is that it's all behind you. Your gaze is on your nose and your orientation is forward, but your concern is with the bum
The
and the
bum and the
legs.
legs, yeah.
So your hands, you might want to, bring them around and feel your bum when you're doing it. We'll talk about that in a sec. Okay, so remember that vinyasa too. This is always something that we catch people on. Chitwari inhale to chaturanga dandasana. So that's a strange breath in, right? Inhale into chaturanga, and then exhale here. Pancha, you come into the state of the asana. Sharathji was always very particular about that when he would count through the lead intermediate. So now Yellen is lifted into it, and she's using the hamstrings and the quadriceps to create the lift in the legs, and the glutes stay soft. Right? She could also do this by squeezing the bum. I don't know if you can see the activation there, but the bum clenches more and that lifts the feet higher, but you'll also start to see some external rotation happening. See, the pinky toes are lifting away from the floor. Because your torso, the front of your body is facing down towards the floor, inward rotation, which is required here to kind of counter the external rotation, means that you're going to lift through the inner knees. And it's not like you have to overdo it. Don't go crazy with it, but try not to let the pinky toes initiate the lift. Do you know what I mean? Keep the front of the feet facing the floor, and that's going to keep your legs more in a neutral position. That's what we're looking for. Of course, that's the harder way to do it. That's why we don't do it. Usually, it's much easier just to squeeze the bum, push the hips down, and activate the legs to lift, and you'll get a lot more height. But if we want to rehearse that idea of making the legs do the work of hip extension, then we're going to try to stop ourselves from going into external rotation. So we'll keep the fronts of the feet facing the floor, pinky toes drop, and then you're going to activate your legs by pressing the toes down into the floor. And watch how Yelena's knees lift away from the floor when she does that. See, they lift up and there's a little space underneath. Okay, now she's going to hold that. She's just going to slowly reach through the toes. And as she reaches through the toes, the hamstrings are going to really work hard now to get the legs to lift, and the bum stays soft. All right. And then, of course, your lower back muscles will work to lift your upper back, your chest away from the floor, which is fine. We want those to work. But this is the technique that we're getting good at here, using the strength of the legs to extend the hips. In the B position, you can go a little bit deeper into the spinal extension, like the curve in your back, because your hands come back. So your hands come back into a chaturanga type position. So see here, yeah, Yelena's fingers are together in A, and the palms are flat on the floor. Don't hover them above the floor.
And the shoulders.
And you're kind of pushing, yeah, you're pushing your hands down and pulling your shoulders back, yeah. So Yelena's arms are in internal rotation, but the shoulders pull back because the shoulders are in extension. And then, watch, she brings the wrists right directly underneath the elbows, and she's going to push into the hands and pull the chest a little more forward. And she's using the whole shoulder girdle as well as the lower back to open the chest up and to deepen the bend in the back, the extension in the spine. Good.
And then one more thing is that the traditional cue, and one that Chiraji would call out quite a lot, was to make sure that the heels stay together. So what's interesting, when you bring your feet or your legs into that parallel position, and then you start to lift, maintaining the parallel position, not letting them, when you lift like this, not letting them do this, what you'll notice is that your heels want to come apart a little bit. And then to bring them together, you really have to focus on adducting. So this action of squeezing the legs together, which really activates this middle line, including the pelvic floor, and it gives so much heat to the pose.
And it's an action that you'll want to continue
Yeah.
forward in all of your other back bends
Yeah,
too.
so try when you're doing it and you're lying on your belly, once you lift the legs, then try to really focus on that squeezing action and see what it does for you.
Mhm.
I'm out of breath. All right. We hope that was helpful. Let us know, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.